Alright, so we're gonna run a PTT. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess depends on how you think about it. This machine runs both of them. You can't really separate one test from the other. So we're gonna run it. You're gonna need a blue tube to do your coax and this cartridge. You're also gonna need the patient ID that you get from the lab, from the computer, and then the lab number that you get when you submit the request for the test. On the machine, you'll click PTT, and then it tells you to submit the cartridge. Just be careful because you're gonna you need one of these. I think it's the lot number, so be careful when you go to rip up your thing. Take out your little pipette and the cartridge. Light it in. Okay, so our cartridge code is this number. So 403 234 400. Done. Yep, it's a citrate tube, so confirm. So our patient ID is the 62766. Done. And then the sample ID, which is that lab number, 409 1600. Done. Okay, so you click next. It's warming up your cartridge. As you can see, our samples are running. And then it'll print out to the computer and they'll hand the results to the doctor. Go. Alright, so here I have my green tube. This is used to do an in-house chemistry panel. So this is our spinner, so we want to just make sure the tubes are balanced that we put in. We close it and we set a timer for 5 minutes so the serum can separate. While that is spinning, we go on the computer and we just order it up so the machines know what tests we're running and for which patient. Go. Alright, so I have a few more seconds in my spinner, so I'm going to submit the patient in the machine so it knows which patient it's running the blood for. So I'm going to go to the slot. Everyone is numbered. So I'm just going to go for A, go to our work list. Our patient's name should pop up. This is Rufus. And then we click OK. And then we know that in slot A, it's going to be for Rufus. So this is our slides. We're going to need a comprehensive and a plus panel. Being that this is a new box, we need to scan the QC slip in order for the machine to be able to know which box it's coming from. And it's really simple. We take our little things to put in our slides, and we take one of each. We want to make sure we put the smaller one first, so the plus panel, just because this is where our lights are, and that's what it has to run first. You want to just make sure they have little arrows, so you want to make sure those pointing away from you. And for the comprehensive panel, these have letters, so you want to be able to read them when you place them down. So we'll put that to slot A. And then we're going to take our blood from our spinner. This is how it should look. Take our little applicator. This is just to make sure anything that was floating gets out so it doesn't read anything wrong. You make sure it fits in that little thing for A. You close it and click start. And now our chemistry is running. So we're going to be doing a 40x plus panel snap test, which is our ELISA test. We're testing for heartworm, Lyme disease, Ehrlichia, and anaplasma. So we get a little like test tube thing, and we're gonna do 4 drops of the conjugate and 3 drops of the whole blood. And we want to make sure it's straight down, so all our drops are the same. Cover just in case. Just want to make sure that the test is at room temperature before you run it. And the lot number for this matches the lot number for the test. Like I said, it's 3 drops of the red, of the blood. You want to invert it a couple times. Just make sure your samples are mixed well with the conjugate. And then you pour it into this, the whole thing. And then once you see it in this little circle is when you snap it down and you set an 8-minute timer. So I'm starting to see it, and I snap it down. I set an 8-minute timer. So this is our results. It's been 8 minutes. The only dot that is visible is the positive control. So this patient is negative for the heartworm, the Lyme, the Ehrlichia, and the Anaplasma. So we're going to be looking for microfilaria, and what you need is just a sample of a dog's blood, preferably in a purple top, a Macrit tube, PCV tube. So there's 2 ways of doing this test. You could either do it in a spun PCV tube, and you're going to be looking right in the middle to see in the buffy coat to see if there's any under the microscope to see if there's any worms, or you're going to be using a slide and a slide cover to do a what we call blood film. So normally dogs shouldn't have any heartworm or microfilaria in the blood. So all you need is a little dot of blood. And your cover slip goes right over your blood film, and I'll spread it out. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. There you go. I'll spread it out. And then you put it under the microscope, and what you're looking for are like worm-like patterns or snake-like patterns in the blood. However, you have to be careful because it can be mistaken. Microfilaria can be mistaken for a Canthochilium sorry, Latin. And that's another type of parasite that also looks like a looks like worm-like in the blood. So you just have to be careful when differentiating the two. A good way to differentiate the two is microfilariae will usually have a straight caudal end, whereas A recantidium will have more of a curved or button hooked end.